Good day, everyone. It's Max, and welcome to Satisfactory. This particular video is just a video tour of my Utopia Alpha map, which has over 2,000 hours on it. In Satisfactory, I've got about 2,700 hours in total, but the biggest of all those is my Utopia Alpha map, which has, well, according to the screen, 2,013 hours and 18 minutes on it. So that's a lot of hours and a lot of minutes. It's pretty crazy. I got Satisfactory on its release day of early access back in March 2019. And of course, got playing it, and basically for a year, it was all I played. I mean, there were other games, I'm sure, but, I played this a lot. It's pretty crazy. Now, this map, of course, because of its 2,000 hours, because of all the things it does and stuff, it is quite laggy at times. So I'm just kind of giving you some heads up here, right? It's quite laggy at times. It's going to take about 6.5 minutes just to load this map, about 7 minutes. So I'm going to have to cut that piece of the video footage out. Traveling to places is pretty crazy, so I'll have to do a little bit of editing. But that's just the way it is. But you know what? Let's get into the game instead of just staring at the screen, and we'll actually have a look around while I do the talking and the things, and we'll see what it's all like. So I click on the button, and I'll hit the load, and I'll see you in there. Okay, we are finally getting into the map. Yeah, you're seeing this real time. I am actually talking on this part on purpose because I want people to see just how painful it is to load this map. This is a no joke map, right? I'm running an i7 9700K 2080 Ti card, all kinds of memory, and my computer loading Satisfactory in this map literally sounds like a jet engine taking off. In fact, it's so bad at times that, like, to record this, I actually had to do things a slightly different setup because the noise coming from the computer was so much, with so many fans running on it, just try and cool it down, that it was actually, the noise was coming through the microphone. It was crazy. So we are in. Now, to help people out with this little tour, I am going to try to use my editing skills to show a map. And this map will be an overview of the entire Satisfactory world, right? And in this particular case, I will highlight areas as we tour around as to where it is we are. Now, this is one of the 4 starting areas, believe it or not. This is the lower Great Plains area around the huge waterfalls. It is the beginner's area, if you want to think of it that way. Remember, I bought this game on day one, early access, March 19, 2019. And so this was the very first load file map of my game existence in this thing. There's the flying manta ray. He's cool. And of course, I probably can't catch him. Can I catch him? I might be able to. I'm not going to catch him. Nope, I'm not going to catch him. I thought about taking a fly on him because he's probably a good idea for touring this whole map, but that's all right. We'll cover what's behind around the area anyway. Focus, Max. Just talk about the area. So yes, you're going to see, I'm going to try my editing skills. You'll see a little map show up. This is the starting area for one of the 4 starting areas in easy mode. And of course, as I mentioned, I did get the game on day one. And just like with DSP and other games, or games that I haven't played in like months or, whatever period of time, it's a crapshoot. I take take an easy route so as I can learn the game mechanics and all that stuff, and away we go. As you can see, the world has changed a lot. The entire lower plains is basically a flat piece of concrete, right? if you were to think of it in terms of areas, there are multiple factories like this all around the world. But there's basically three things that they're doing, right? They're either making stuff for turbo motors, generating power, or making stuff for the space elevator, right? With the introduction of space elevator parts, I believe, which is now update 3, they're unique parts. An entire factory section alone was built for that. Which we'll get to see a little later. And it too is massive. It takes up the entire Rocky Desert, that factory. The entire Rocky Desert, not just a corner of it, not just a piece of it, not just half of it. It takes up all of it, right? So you'll see that when we get over to that part of the factory. But in this particular case, this area is one of several major factories, which of course is doing turbo motor production. And on this entire map and everything you see here is going to building 50 turbo motors a minute. That's it. Not 5,000, not 500, not even 100, just 50 turbo motors a minute. Almost this entire planet is covered in stuff for 50 turbo motors a minute. Okay, the numbers in comparison to other games don't match. It just doesn't match, right? So, like, when you're talking about, doing this and doing that, and you're doing, I'm going to, get 1,000 of this or 1,000 of that or whatever. No. In this game, I'm literally sucking up the entire world's resources for 50 turbo motors a minute. That's where we are. This, of course, is the space elevator behind us. Yes, of course. And of course, behind us is the Christmas event, which they had. And again, in terms of numbers, where are we? Well, this entire mega factory that's behind us does 10 golden stars a minute. That's it, right? So you're looking at, I don't know, what is there, like about 500 machines up there? And yep, that takes, for 10 stars, about 500 machines. That's where we are. I'd like to be able to catch the manta ray because he'll actually do a really good job of demonstrating this part of the factory. So let's head on down to my little base area, my little base of operations, and I'm out of gas. Well, that's one way to start the video off, Max, to be out of gas. We'll put gas in the car, and now we'll head down to the base of operations area. Yes. So, as mentioned, I did start on the planes. This is where I placed my my landing pod, the whole thing, here at the hub, and basically built around it. So once I had the ability to make concrete, I made this platform. This is actually up on a hill. If you actually look underneath, version 1 of this base is down here. So this is a valley, and then this is built on a valley, right? So if you kind of remove this, this is built on a thing, which then, this was version 1 of this factory, and then now we're on version 2 of this factory, but this is actually in its original location. So I had built this on the hill, and it's just been kind of built up to. So this is my hub. Nothing too exciting. It's a nice little building. I do have a nice little storage area, but I don't have a great mall or anything like that. I'm not really into malls. So let's get out here. I think he's coming this way. I was pretty sure. Oh, we just missed him. Really? I didn't think I was talking that much, but okay, whatever. Fine. I can still talk about it. It's just a little harder. So, you know what? I'm going to bring you right back because I can do that. Gosh darn, I'm going to wait for him to circle back around, and we're going to catch him on the next one. In fact, I'm just going to fly right up here. Yep, and I'm going to wait for him right here. The nice part about this location is that this is where he comes by right by. So I literally just have to jump up, and he is going to tour us around the valley, around the southern valley, and all the wonderful turbo motors. So I will be right back. Okay, so he's going to be coming around here in a minute, but I want to talk about actually what we see right in front of us before we do, before I get on him. And this actually is one of the few little module factories that actually doesn't provide anything to the big factory. This little mini, this factory here, what it produces is all your basic materials right up to modular frames. And in this particular case, it is producing 2 modular frames per minute. So all these machines that you see right here around the central hub area, that's what it does. That is what these machines here and these smelters and all this stuff. So plate, rods, reinforced iron plate. You have pipes and steel plate and concrete. That kind of stuff all comes together and, of course, makes 2 modular frames per minute in this platform right here. And it actually is self-providing. It doesn't do anything else but that. So though I don't officially have a mall, this area actually is kind of my mall. It is the area that I come to pick up things. So, Mr. Manaray, how are you? Good. We're going to go for a small drive, all right? Because you're going to save me a little time on the whole tour of this section of the base. Boop. All right. Very good. So, with that covered, the rest of this area is all about the assembly of turbo motors. Now, not everything is made here, but it is the final assembly area. So here on the left, you need 4 things for turbo motors. Of course, we need heat sinks, and that is what you see here on the left being made. Now, the aluminum and stuff is all being shipped in by train from other areas, but that is its final product. There is the actual turbo motors in front of us themselves being made down below. So that's what's going on there. The next thing on the left, right underneath his wing actually, is the radio control units. Now, the radio control units, oh yeah, now you're going to make your left turn, sure. The radio control units, again, the final product is being made here, but a lot of it is shipped in. So the oscillators are being shipped in from the jungle desert, or the jungle in the center of the map. Obviously, aluminum and other pieces are being shipped in by trains from other parts of the map. So though RCUs and heat sinks are being made here, the final components are being made here before being fed into turbo motors. The rest of their stuff is being shipped in by trains, bringing the stuff and the things in from other parts of the map. Obviously, aluminum, as mentioned a few minutes ago, aluminum and power are being made in a major area over there. And of course, a lot of that is shipped in. In fact, you can see just kind of down there, it's a little hard to see, there's about 2,000 machines making copper components and stuff just to do the things. Now, a third thing, of course, that you need to do turbo motors is 200 motors a minute. And that is everything that you are seeing here in front of you now. It takes, I don't know, whether there got to be, I think there's about 1,700 machines here when it's all added up. And basically, it's all copper and piping, steel pipes. It's copper and steel pipes, which of course are fed into, we're smelting all the copper in the steel pipes, which then is fed into, machines making copper and steel pipes, which then is fed into assemblers, over 200 of them, to make the rotors and the other piece that the motors need. And then these 40 machines right here are the actual final assembly of motors right there. This entire area over here is computers. So these are all the computers that you need to make the turbo motors. Back there is refining of Criterium ore for Criterium wire. And of course, that is what you're seeing all along here is wire and copper. Again, Criterium wire and copper wire for the computers. The only thing not made here for the computers is plastic, as you can see on them lines, all the blue. That is being shipped from another factory somewhere else, and I'm sure we'll get to see a quick peek of that. Of course, here, this is a factory over an old factory. So there's like a ramp there. And what you see there is actually, this is built on top of an old factory. And when we get back to the car, we'll actually have a look at that. We'll actually drive through there for fun. Because there's an entire factory underneath this factory, which is dead. It hasn't worked in forever, right? Which is kind of weird. A lot of it is stripped away and gone, but some of the machines remain and are kind of relics of an era gone by, back on 1,000 hours of this map, I guess. And then, of course, up there on the hill is the Christmas factory, as mentioned. It is doing, the 10 golden stars a minute, and it's to do that, again, this is only a part of what it takes to make 50 turbo motors and 10 stars. It takes hundreds of machines. And the pacing of Satisfactory, before DSP came along, I would consider there to be two factory games. If Factorio was the left, Satisfactory was the right. And now DSP is kind of the middle of the road, right? So let's now jump in the car here. We're going to back the car up a little bit. We'll drive down here. Yep, off we go. Now, yeah, some parts of this are going to lag out. It's unfortunate, but you can't be running a map with 10,000 machines on it and not expect to be laggy. It's the game just is not optimized enough to handle this kind of throughput, right? So I do have turbo motors turned off at the moment. They are not producing, and that is literally just for power issues, right? As mentioned, right here is the 40 assemblers for for the actual motors that you need for turbo motors. The fourth thing you need, by the way, is rubber. We're going to actually see that factory soon enough. As mentioned, this is a factory on top of an old factory. 1,000 hours ago, or maybe even more than that, before we had vertical belts and all that type of stuff, there was older factories doing older things. Yeah, that's right, under here, yeah. And a lot of this factory has been stripped away and things, but this part of it I kind of left alone. The old days when we actually didn't have vertical belts and all that stuff, and we had to come up with ingenious ways to get belts moved around and deliver mass amounts of material. Yeah, that was a thing at one time. These are using a lot of the old formulas too for computers and things. So of course a lot of this is kind of irrelevant anyway now. But yeah, there's actual entire old factories built underneath some of these newer factories, which is kind of freaky. It's kind of freaky. So we'll drive over here and then we'll be able to drive back out. So this is that was like actually the computer section at one time, and I actually used to do different types of. I actually used to make. Let me see, what would it be called? The radio control units. Yeah, so the radio control units I actually made over there in an old base at one time. Of course, again, this is all underground because none of this is used anymore, right? This is all kind of old stuff. We used to do steel up on that hill, but now, of course, right above us is the new steel factories for the actual motors. But yeah, the stuff that's underground of the old factory versus the new factory. And there's a couple of little nostalgia effects, like this machine. I've kept it here with its old belt, the old way we used to get belts to go up, just as a little bit of a tribute. So, as mentioned, we have other places to go because this is only a part of how you make 50 turbo motors. And literally, I could spend an hour just driving around that area alone and looking at things, but we would never get anywhere. So let's move on to where the major part of the rubber for the 50 motors, turbo motors, is coming from, and that would be this way. As we take it, yep. So one of the things they did to try and save on cycles is the spawning in of creatures is really late now. And unfortunately, a lot of these creatures literally spawn in like a second before the car gets there. So yeah, I usually end up hitting a lot of stuff. It's not my real intention to hit the bean guys, but I didn't design the, I can understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to squeeze out every little CPU cycle they can, with so much going on in the game. You get later into the game, and again, my computer at the moment is literally going to need a refrigerator to cool it down here after this tour is done, right? So, nevertheless, this is the Purple Forest. The Purple Forest actually is doing two things. It's doing rubber and a large amount of copper, which I would love to have all this time to show you all the things. But, yep. So, nevertheless, this is oil processing here. With all the oil processing things. And this is just one area of oil processing, but it's one of my larger areas. It is also not built on it is using alternate recipes, but not in the most efficient way, this factory. We're going to see another one of these, another huge oil processing center later, which actually is using the most up-to-date areas. Now, I use trains in my world, but anybody that's used a lot of trains in their world is going to discover trains are kind of buggy. They won't stay running. They get lost half the time. It's a thing, right? You kind of keep checking their timetables, making sure that they're not jammed. Let's see what we can do here for a second. So yeah, this is oil processing. Yeah, let's see if we can actually get up a little higher, because I know we can. We will stop at this tower here. Take a little. Oh, whoa. Yep. Okay. There we go. Very good. And then we will do the thing over here where we go up and up and up and up and up. Yep. I know all the leg, all the things. Cool. Yep. So oil processing in the Purple Forest here. Yeah, we have a lot of oil trains coming here to drop off their oil, because this is one of two major oil processing centers as I have. We have a lot of trains passing through with aluminum to, of course, take to the turbo motor assembly area for the heat sinks. But a lot of oil trains stop here. We have a coal train that stops here because, of course, to make all that steel back in turbo motors, we needed even more coal. For steel processing. So that's the thing. And then, of course, we have a bunch of refineries. I needed some extra space for some more refining because that's the thing we do for copper, because you can never have enough copper. It's copper. It does the body good. And again, way over there in the Purple Forest, there's a couple... I don't know. I think there's like 1,400 machines. And literally, it's just 1,400 machines turning copper into copper plate. And that's what all these lines are doing. Just rows and rows and rows of copper plating machines are in the Purple Forest. that's what the Purple Forest does. It's oil processing, and oil processing and copper plating, or something to that effect. Now, again, this is literally like version 3 of this factory. which is kind of cool. And again, though this is one of my first oil processing areas, it did not look like this in its early day. It too had a much younger life, which had a much different look, which is back here. There's a ramp to it to the old factory back here. And again, a lot of the factory's been torn up and recycled and all the things and the stuff. We're actually going to stop here for fuel in a second. Just, having lots of free gas is always a good thing. Yep. But we have a ramp here that actually goes down into the old world of the factory. Obviously, the oil around here is being reused up top, and all these piping and stuff. Of course, back then there was no such thing as pipes, right? Oil was done in oil barrels, and you can still do that today. It's just not very efficient. But this was the older platform of this factory, and did oil and stuff. The size, memories, so cute. But yeah, now of course we have lots more oil doing lots bigger things and lots of stuff. So that is this is definitely where all the rubber is coming from. And again, a lot of this factory isn't really running at the moment because without actually making the turbo motors, it isn't consuming anything. So, stop here for a second. How much gas do I have on me? Yeah, you know what? We'll stop here. We'll pick up a little bit. May actually turn the machine on. Boop. There. We'll do that. I'm not saying. Oh, look, we're gonna have one machine turn on just for hoots. So with that is the purple forest area, which is all copper and oil processing, and trains coming and going, doing all the things. That's pretty cool. Now, the third area, which is a combined area, of course, a major portion of this area, of course, is for power, and but the other part of it, of course, is for aluminum. Cause you gotta have that for the heat sinks, the RCU units and stuff. And it takes up it's a mass build. One thing about that is one of the things they are changing an update for. I don't know how bad it's going to break it. I suspect it's going to badly break this, so I will be stashing up for it. But aluminum was not fun. It was just not fun in update 3. Okay, I say that real serious. Like, it wasn't bad, but really, aluminum was the least amount of fun in update 3. Let's put it that way. With its requirements and its back cycling of water and all this stuff, it made it really, really complicated. And but I mean, that's a thing. So yeah, we're if you kept going that way, of course, we're hauling material, copper material out of that center jungle there to be processed over in the purple forest because we need stuff. And this is, as you can see from up here, you can see a bunch of nuclear power plants. Yep, that's the thing. Now I know this is going to look a little freaky here for about 10 seconds until we get down this ramp. It just saves me from having to move the mouse. So I'll apologize for that now. So before update 3, this platform here is what processed aluminum. It was simple. You just had some machines and then some assemblers, and it was a thing. No big deal. Yep. Nope, that's not aluminum now. Aluminum now is a massive, massive thing, right? It's a thing where, we process aluminum stuff and things. Yeah, because that's what we do here. It's aluminum. Many, many rows of aluminum. Of course, we have trains taking that aluminum away to, of course, be turned into heat sinks. And, of course, the occasional belt, because, of course, we got all the highest end belts here, which you got to do when you're running this kind of material. I don't really have a platform or anything to stand on here for this, so we'll just pull in here. Maybe I can kind of whip one out of my pocket. Do I have a 7? Sure. How many of these can I make? Oh, I can make some of them. So let's we'll just whip some of these up to have a quick peek. Yep, keep going, keep going. Yep, keep going. Yep, up you go. Yep, up and away. There we go. Yep, a couple more wouldn't hurt. There we go. Yep, thanks left hand for that button. Okay, so we'll jaunter up here. Up, and then we'll have a turnaround. Yeah, so this is what it takes to do aluminum. There's a huge factory platform up there, which of course is processing all this stuff, shipping it down into these machines, which then all get processed into aluminum, which then get processed into aluminum sheets, into aluminum ingots, and then shipped into the train. And that is what's going on this side of. This area is painful. This is the poison swamp underneath us. Yeah, this place is just all bad. You can't even explore it really well because they've got so much bad in here. It makes it not very fun, right? Like you kind of want some challenge areas in your game, but the poison swamp is, I mean, you can't do anything with it. Like, it's literally a wasted area. You can't explore it very well. You can't do anything with it. Of course, that's what's going on this side. And then on this side, of course, and I mean, I'd have to go up even higher to demonstrate this, but we'll drive to the other side for this. There, of course, is all the power generation going on. So let's jump down here into the car. Now, obviously, on a 2,000 hour plus map, right? Power is a thing. Yep. Nuclear power is a thing. And nuclear waste is a thing. Yeah. 2,000 hours later, I've got a lot of nuclear waste. A lot of waste, you know? And we're just going to drive over this way because it's a little easier to drive down the other side of the factory going this way. Yeah, waste. It is a thing, right? How does one handle all the waste? Well, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. I have a huge amount of storage for it. I mean, we're storing it. We have a mass amount of storage for it. This is something that's going to break in Update 4. I don't look forward to that at all. When they broke nuclear power in Update 3, yep, that was a thing. So as you can see underneath, out in the ocean, we've got hundreds of water pumps working. Of course, if we stop here for a second and look down here, yep. We have just rows and rows and rows of nuclear doing the thing. Now, these 10 nuclear on the left are actually semi-separated from these ones on the right. And that's on purpose because I can cut these ones off really quickly and hook these into the water pumps down below to get all the water reworking if things go bad. If things go south, I can get water working again for nuclear just by doing that. And trust me, in 2,000 hours, you learn a few things about power management. Let me tell you. This, of course, in Update 3 required some rebuild, but of course, to make all that nuclear run, you've got to make nuclear rods, and all that stuff, of course, requires a lot of things. Because that's what we do here. We make things. We make lots of things. And it's going to be hard to demonstrate this area because, of course, a lot of it is very toxic around here, and I do not have a radiation suit. So it's going to be a little hard to demonstrate, but we will do this. This is probably one of the few safe areas I can actually stand in. without a suit on, probably okay. Obviously, to run that amount of nuclear, you need a lot of stuff to make nuclear rods. So we will get up here. This, of course, is what's handling all that requirements. Along with all the piping and the stuff and the things to run all the power here. And behind me is all the storage. That's all full. Yeah, that's not empty. That's full. You can see there. I know it's a little hard to tell with all the choppiness because again, their optimization, the way they've been trying to optimize things for a while now has been, draw distance, all this stuff. I pump a lot of nuclear waste into them, every minute. There's a lot of nuclear going on here. And we'll just jump down here just to take a drive by. And again, as mentioned, they are full. As we are going to lose the sun here in a second, I will have to. I'll wait until the next day to continue the tour. That way, of course, it's not dark. But this obviously is out here for a reason. Coming out here, even with a radiation suit, is pure madness. You don't dare get out of the car. Like, it's bad. And as I mentioned, these are full. All of these are full. They are full. Like, you want to know what, hundreds and hundreds of boxes of radiation look like? This is what it looks like. It's full. Yep. The nuclear meter is literally losing its mind because this is all full. And that's what this little extension is, which is filling up. Yep. It's full, right? Unfortunately, one of the things I will actually have to do relatively soon is actually add more boxes to keep nuclear going. That's where I am. Yeah, this is what 2,000 hours of nuclear power looks like. So as you can see, we do have some storage left, on this bottom row here. Thank goodness, because I'll tell you one thing, when it jams up, it's not pretty. It's definitely not pretty. So that is this. I guess we're going to lose the sun here in a couple minutes. I probably have enough time to drive up to that upper platform and then kind of get an overview shot of nuclear and aluminum. This way. Drive this way. So yeah, that's. But this side of everything that you've seen here is basically handling all the requirements for the 50 turbo motors. Now, obviously, the power here is, running all the things, but, the aluminum and all that stuff, and all its requirements is around, we are out of power, or we are out of gas. Okay, well, let's get out of the very dangerous nuclear area before we stop and put gas in the car. Yep, do that. Good thing I stopped for gas, huh? That would have been bad. Let's carry on here. As you can see, we'll just drive up here, up over the hill, and then we'll stop on that upper platform, and I will then wait for the daylight to return before we continue the tour. This basically handles all the turbo motor stuff. And then we got to talk about what's handling all the space elevator component stuff, right? Because we're doing that with a bunch of space elevator stuff. There is, I do want to say, at one time I was making supercomputers here, but I'm not. I'm not actually making a single supercomputer on this world at the moment. I didn't need them for turbo motors, and you actually don't need supercomputers for any of the space components at the moment. So we'll see what Update 4 brings. I suspect that's going to change. But right now, it was not a requirement. So, there's no supercomputers really being made in the world. It's all about the turbo motors and the space components. All right, up here we go. Doo, doo, doo. So, of course, as mentioned, the old world was just underneath us there. We just drove through it. This, of course, is crystal processing, turning it into the bags, of course, to then send down the hill. And there's a whole bunch of machines up here, obviously. And we are looking overview of aluminum and nuclear. There you go. There's quite the view. So now we're going to do a quick cutaway here. And of course, when we come back, we're going to actually drive on over to the third major area, I'll call it, of the factory, which would be all about that space elevator component stuff and everything that it takes to make that all work. Okay, with the daylight back, we've got to get a drive on because I'm actually a little late. So in this particular case, we are now leaving the aluminum nuclear area and moving on to the space elevator components area. Now, it is a 3-4 minute drive to get there from this side of the map. Sorry, excuse me. So I have a little time to talk about 3 games, the difference. In front of us is the new desert that got the big update in Update 3, and as you can see, I have done nothing with it. That's on purpose, because that, for some reason, I had some forethought at one time, and that is for Update 4, and whatever requirements they had. So the desert is untouched. And when they remodeled all this, it is now one of the 4 starting areas. Now that they have 4 starting areas, that is one of the 4 starting areas you can start in. And of course, but I have done 0 with it. I have not built a single thing out there. In fact, it's funny because this power was run through here before Update 3. So of course they changed the landscape and a few other things. So there's a few floating power poles here. I have a power pole here buried in this rock, so you can't get to that one. That's just the way that one is. Yeah, so they did a few redesigns here on a few things, but yeah. So on the right is the huge mega red desert, and I have done nothing with it. That is where I'm going to be probably building a lot of my stuff in Update 4. There's a lot of oil out here in this part of the area. There's basically 3 avenues to get across the map. There is the outside edge on the far side, which we drove out this way. Then there's through the center of the map, which is where the big trees are. And then, of course, we're driving on the third way now back towards the other side of the map, which, of course, is through into the Rocky Desert. There's the big red desert, but the second starting area was always the Rocky Desert area, which, of course, is where we're going. And we're just driving. We're going through this way just because the jungle itself I have lots of stuff in there, but it's all collection stuff. It's all oil pumps and miners. I don't have any factories in there, except yes, there's a huge old petroleum power factory in there, but a lot of it's dismantled and none of it works. I haven't used petroleum in over, like I said, it's got to be 1,500 hours since I've used petroleum as a power source. So, yeah, I don't have that. That's just not there, right? But everything else in there is just about collection and then pulling it out into areas that I actually do process it into factories. So we're just bebopping down here. It's the same with all the oil that's up in here, right? I just pull it out. This power line's running through here to pull it out into other factories. And that's what, of course, the trains are doing, and belts. Trains and belts. That's all we do. We just pull stuff out and about. Yep, as everything starts to spawn in. Thanks for all that slowness. Now, the oil, there's an ocean out here just on the other side of this rock. I have not touched any of the oil wells out there. Of course, and the reason is because I will probably end up building a third mega oil factory to go with my red desert stuff. And of course, when I do that, all that oil out there is for that. which is all that collection and the things. I am. Oh, well, okay. Yeah, nope, we're good. Come on, car, let's go. Zip zip. We got things to do. So this whole valley floor thing. I mean, really, there's no resources or anything in here except a lot of oil, and basically you just kind of you collect it and train it away, right? You collect it up, and take it away. This way. We want to go this way. I do have a small oil processing area over here, but really, it's almost obsolete now. I say that. It's only a few hundred hours old. It's probably obsolete. Well, I don't know. It's probably about 400 hours old. This oil processing area is making rubber. Is also just making rubber. It is making the rubber. It was making rubber for the. Are we out of power? Oh, okay, no. I seen the red lights down there, and I was like, "What?" No. But it was using the less efficient rubber making methods, and I have other factories that are using the more efficient making rubber methods, so I can probably recycle that there into rubber for whatever update 4 throws at me. This here is basically where the center, I'll call it the center highway through the center of the map, and the outside edge come together before you get into the Rocky Desert. Like I said, we could have driven over here through probably 2 different routes. This is the other route you could take. And of course, up there, just past that big hill, is the other starting area, which of course you can do on this map, which used to be considered the hard area at one time because the biggest creatures are here and all that stuff. But now the Red Desert is considered to be the hardest area, and that over the top of that hill is considered to be the second hardest area. Resource deposits around here, though, the resource deposits around here, a lot of them are pure nodes, so that's the thing. But you notice I don't use trains here because of their unreliability. It's all belt. It is literally all belted into here. I like when it comes to the rocket area, to the space elevator area components, because it is its own factory with its own resources. I did not need to depend on trains or any of that stuff. So you know what? It's all belted coming in here. Now, again, it is a little hard to see just how big this is from here. So I don't know. We'll go to the other end of this factory. Again, this is a huge factory. It's about 4,000 machines, doing a lot of things. Here. It makes, and I forget the name of all the newer space components, but I can look them up as we go through the factory here, because it makes all these cross beam things. It makes, I don't know, a couple hundred of those. Makes 10 or 20 of the round ball things. I don't remember all these names. All I know is that there's 14,000 screws being made here every minute. Yep, that's a number for you. 14,000. And it takes a lot of screws to make some of this stuff. So this is a thing. Yep. This area actually also uses refineries for processing raw material. It is using the new formulas. That is what you see here. So these 400 refineries here are all doing processing of iron ore and copper ore instead of using the other machines. Steel does not have that option. I really wish it did, because steel is a pain to deal with. But yeah, it is a thing. So let me get the name of these silly balls that it makes up here. And then we're gonna jump over onto that big rock ledge so as we can see this factory, because it's a size of its own. Before we actually had smart splitters and smart mergers, of course we had to do tricks like this, right? to prevent it from overproducing. What are these? Modular engines, right? Yeah, so we're making, I think it's 10 or 20 of those a minute. And now we'll drive back this way. I would go up there, but oh, gee, the pink forest, it's just so painful. It's just so painful. There's only so much pain a person can do. Yeah, and that's not one of them right now. That's just not one of them. I can't do that pain. I cannot do that pain. And getting up here is going to be, I mean, is a bit of a challenge, right? So this obviously, having the hand that I have, this is a little bit of work for me. So this will take a few seconds. Yep. Okay, where's our next platforms? All right, let's head on up. Okay, that's cool. I'll recharge here a little bit. Save my hand. Can I make 2 platforms? I probably can. I can probably even make it the rest of the way now. Yep. We'll borrow this radar tower. How convenient. No, we don't want to configure the radar tower. We're gonna go up the radar tower. Whoa, dude, you kind of got a shake on. What's this? Now, okay, I haven't been up a radar tower in some hours, but that was freaky weird. Wow. Okay, so I was kind of like half through the radar tower. I would say that's a bit of a bug. Whoa. So yeah, this is probably high enough to see this factory. So this, of course, is the Rocky Desert. And of course, like I said, there's thousands of machines here producing lots of things. And it's very hard to even move the cursor up here. Come on, dude. I know you can walk forward. I know this is painful. I know it's painful for you to try and load this all in. But you've got to do it. You've got to do it, man. So yeah, there is machines producing things. And this factory is totally separate from the other factories. This entire section, and if we turn over here, you'll see like there's huge oil sections over here. A lot now that is actually being shared. That oil section over there is being shared. It's producing the plastics for the computers way back over in the other base, but it is also producing stuff for this base. But this is its own thing, producing space elevator parts for all the things. I'm going to turn this way a minute so as I can actually get some frame rate back. So I'm going to try and jump down. Do you think I'll mess this up? I will probably mess this up. I don't even know where the car is. It is probably over here somewhere. So we're going to do this. Yep, this is perfectly fine. This is perfectly fine. Yep. Whoa. Don't fall down too fast, dude. Excellent stuff. All right, we're down. So this factory, of course, like I said, is doing space parts. And you know what? Them space parts are not... see, we've lost the power now. So this is a big problem with this map. It can't keep up the cycles. It just can't keep up the cycles. And what happens is the calculation for water can't be done fast enough for all the nuclear, and so the nuclear plants think they're getting no water, and then they shut down. And this is what happens, right? Literally you lose all your power. But what's happening is the water is not has not been prioritized efficient enough to be processed through CPU cycles. So when you're loading big factories, like if you're taking a lot in at once, it dumps. It can't load the water requirements in, and then it just shuts everything down. Everything just goes to pots, right? So we'll start back up here. It'll be fine, right? Because now I'm not looking at a lot of things at once. It has enough CPU cycles to actually figure that out. That's a big issue on really big maps. I don't know if they'll be able to fix that or what they're going to try and do to fix that. So we just came from that way. We can actually go up this way We're going to make a left turn here for a second. Yep. Oh, we're going to need gas because that's going to be a thing. So, yeah, space elevator component parts. Let's just throw that one in there for now. And again, we're talking a lot of machines doing a lot of the things. Between the amount of steel you need, to to have things, and the amount of ore you need to have things. And unfortunately, a lot of these components are not worth a lot. There's the frames right here. I think it does 200 of these a minute. So these are the these are the versatile frameworks. I think I'm doing 200 of these a minute. Yep, that's a thing. Pretty groovy. You'll notice the alternate recipe included rubber there. Anything that includes oil, try to avoid it. It'll save you a lot less hassle in the future, for sure. If you can build something without involving rubber or plastic, that is the route you want to go. These are actual. These are just the frames. Because to make to make this amount of parts, you need a lot of stuff working all the time. Let's see. I forget what these little round. I forget what the round things are called. I'm pretty sure this is it over here. Yeah, what are these things called? Because I'm making 50 of these or whatever it is. Adaptive control units. Yeah, so we make a bunch of those, and it needs 15 something a minute. Yeah, I make a bunch of that. We make a bunch of stuff. We make a bunch of stuff here in this particular factory. So let me circle back around to get out of this factory, and we'll head off to our other major oil processing center, which we had one mega oil factory doing a bucket load of rubber, and this one down here does a bucket load of plastic and a little bit of rubber because you need a lot of rubber for a lot of things. I probably should have went over one more. Yeah, probably should have went over one more row and then tried to drive out. But yeah, and again, we're driving through huge factory areas, which of course have a lot of lag to them. So, we'll be a little better once we get a little farther out here. It's not so many machines in an area. That's just the way it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. So, all right, here we go. It's freeing up a little more. It's okay. It'll be okay. We're gonna be okay. So now on to this second major oil processing center. This, of course, again, is producing turning all the oil into all the things, right? And it has again an older platform and the upper newer platform, I guess, where we are making things, right? We are making lots of plastic for lots of things, because that's what we do. We make things, for sure. We'll drive down to the other end of this. Probably a little easier to see down some of the rows here. Okay, little turn. So we do have, now this is all still a working factory, even in progress, right? So even though these factories up here are running, and of course these are working. Like I said, this is a work. This factory is working. Fair amount of the time. So even though we've got, all kinds of plastic processing and stuff here, this older factory, which some of it has been disassembled, but it still actually has working factories of its own. They may not be as efficient in their design, but they too are still making plastic until I could finish this, which I've never gotten around to finishing because I'm just, thousands of hours in the game, right? Thousands of hours. It's just crazy all the time. So this isn't, this is using Well, at one time, in the early days, this is where the 4 pure nodes of oil were, and you came here if you wanted to get the most oil out of your pumps. It's all kind of a little different now with the piping system and stuff, but it is still a really great area for getting oil resource out of. I cannot see. Do 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 do. This, of course, is, like I said, another major area, and we have just enough sunshine. We have just enough sunshine, to go into the center jungle to have a look at the another major factory, which, of course, is where all the crystal oscillators are made. Yeah, there's a huge factory in the center of the jungle making only one thing: crystal oscillators, because they're a pain. They are painful to make. They're very painful. So to make them, you have to do a thing. I need to go underneath this bridge and then turn left. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, let's go. Up we go. So into the jungle we go. And again, like mentioned earlier, there's basically 3 major highways that kind of run across the island, down either side of the island, and then through the center. And this is the center of this jungle area we're driving into now. So we'll drive up here. We're driving along. Okay, we are arriving. This is still also a work in progress. Of course, there's an entire factory underneath us, right? Because, yeah, that's where we are. I don't know. I don't think I can drive through here this way. No, I can't. Right. This and of course this is currently turned off because I'm actually full up on oscillators at the moment. But when this factory's alive, it sucks up power like crazy. Yep. So we can drive through here. This is actually a new section being built on to produce even more oscillators. Yeah. So if you drive through the center of this side of the jungle map, you can drive right through to the back side of the space elevator. And I don't know if I can see it if we look over the side here, but right over the side here, yep, I can. That is actually my coal power generation, which is idle at the moment. But again, I can bring it back online to get quick power to certain parts of the base if the base lose power, right? So again, one thing you'll learn in this game is power management, right? So this here is actually for future expansion, which I'm actually in the middle of expanding at the moment. But it is because we make oscillators up here. That's all this factory does up here. It just makes oscillators. I don't know, there's about 2,000 machines. No, there's about 1,500 machines in this. This is a smaller factory. And again, because it's only making one thing. But to make oscillators, you need a lot of these machines. And, of course, these things suck up power, right? So you need a lot of manufacturers to make oscillators. It's scary. It's really scary. It is the one component that uses a lot of manufacturers. So of course, to make the manufacturers, we've got crystal being processed all in through here, all in through these caves. Because actually the raw crystal is all the way back in here. So we've got machines, more machines here. There's actually a tunnel through here that you can actually get into the pink forest up there. Look at that. But the pink forest, for me, there's no factories up there. I'm literally just claiming all the bauxite. You want bauxite, it's up there. It's in the pink forest. And to get at it, you gotta go up there. But literally, there's just a bunch of miners covering that whole pink forest, pulling all that bauxite in to make the aluminum down the aluminum factory. Of course, this is all idle, of course, because like I said, the oscillator train is full because, of course, the turbo motors is turned off, so it's not using any of them at the moment. And how do you use 50 gas really fast? Just about like that. Yep, that's how you use 50 gas really fast. So it is getting a little late. We've got just enough time to get back to the center base. and of course, to wrap up the tour. So when it's all running, it's using, when it's all running, I don't know, it's using about 115 megawatts, right? So it's using, what do I got? I got 60 or 70 nuclear power plants, something like that. Anyway, they're all doing the thing, right? Oh, can we take the old way? Yeah, we probably can, just to show you that there was a factory underneath this one at one time that actually made this stuff. In lesser numbers, but it still made. This is where oscillators have always been made. Yeah, we can go this route. I think we got enough daylight left to get back to the base. Going this, there you can go that way through the whole jungle. Like I said, you can go through the whole jungle. There's machines and stuff in there, and stuff in the things. Lots of stuff, lots of things. But yeah, the older factory is down here. Again, made in less quantity, but it still made things. And we need to go up this road, this path. Up we go. If we turn left up here, it would take us down to the coal factory. So if you make a left turn right here, the coal factory would be down that hill. Cool. But we're going to actually make a right turn here to go back out to the beach area. The old train track before the new factory was built above us. Of course, this is where the old train used to come along. And we'll drive right out here. Right out here. That's it. Out through here. You can fit. There you go. So, we'll head back down to the beach. We'll probably be able to see some of the plastic line heading into the main turbo factory. So, mostly the tour is all done and over. We'll zip out here. But that is Satisfactory and the 2,000-hour map. Now, again, it's not clean in any sense of the word. Like, no mods are used on this map. So what you see is every ounce of it was hand built, one piece at a time, every machine at a time, all very painful at a time. It's all these power poles one at a time. Fought every monster off to get them in here, right? Like it's all very painful. It took a lot of work. So as you can see here on the right, there's the plastic lines coming from the coming from the plastic factory or from the plastic oil processing area, and we're gonna get to see that line again down here just a little bit. As we get closer and closer, of course, to the turbo factory, we're going to get some stutter. So there's the plastic lines there, bringing all the plasticky things. Sure thing. We have to make a little left diversion here. You could go straight up there, up that grassland to get into the factory, but of course I've made this little ramp so you can get into the backside of the factory, and of course this now takes us back into turbo motor land and all the wonders here. So with that, this is Utopia Alpha and all the craziness that goes along with it. If I was to, yes, I mean, I can keep working on this map. I will keep repairing this map or whatever. If I was to actually do a series, though, I would probably have to do it from scratch, and it would only be a weekend series. There's a reason, like Kibitz, for example, who's probably the biggest known Satisfactory player. There's a reason why, you don't see videos every day on Satisfactory. And a lot of his series is usually mod related, because it is the only way you would get anything done within a reasonable amount of time for a video series in Satisfactory. Satisfactory does not make for a good building, unless you literally have 100,000 people watching your videos every day. It does not make for an easy video series, just because of the game. It's very slow paced. and takes a long time to build any amount of machines. Yes, he does build, like his mass factories with, hundreds of manufacturers and the processors and the things, but off camera, I know what it takes for him to do that. He is spending, many, many hours doing that work. And on the modded series, the mods are helping him a fair amount because really, it's the only way you ever get anything done in a large scale. Yes, and you're still hand placing a lot of stuff. You're still doing a lot of hand placing stuff. So, unfortunately, it's a hard series to do with in terms of a Let's Play series, which is why I have my music series on Satisfactory, because it's kind of more made for that. But that is the tour of Satisfactory and the 50 turbo motors a minute doing the things and all the stuff that it takes. Hope you enjoyed the little bit of a tour. Let me know what you think. If I was to do any kind of series on it, like I said, it would have to be kind of like a Saturday, Sunday series. And even then, I don't know if it can even be done because it just takes so much time to get anything of any magnitude done in the game. It's really unfortunate because it is such an awesome game to play. But nevertheless, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the tour. This is Max, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.